Yo, what up, though, my people? It's your favorite businessman, CEO Rico, on the ones and twos on CEORicoTV.com. What up, though? To all my people, what's the deal? I'm in the building. Hey, yo, so what's cracking with y'all, man? How y'all week been? It's Friday, 10 o'clock. Y'all already know we about to get things cracking. I almost was late. I almost was late, but I wasn't. Um, If y'all see the thumbnail, I literally just made that damn thing up in a matter of seconds. I had to hurry up too. But make sure y'all like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And of course, drop comments in the comment section. Because remember, guys, this is not only my show. This is our show. This is our thing. Our subscribers been growing. People have been seeing the content. Um, I got a lot of pushback on the Carmelo Anthony case. We're gonna talk about it. But I got a lot of pushback about that, which was, it was cool. I tell anybody, I'm ready for the smoke. And I'm not gonna lie. If you know me, what I guess if you like my inner little personal circle, I start shit on purpose. I'm not even gonna hold you up. And for me, it's kind of fun. And I'm not saying that specific topic was necessarily like me starting shit on purpose. No. I knew it was gonna piss some people off, which I didn't care about. But it's like some stuff I actually do on purpose. Prime example, um, I was in some weed groups, marijuana groups, for growers because I did grow and I know how to grow and all like that, right? Licensed grower and everything like that, right? And inside those groups, especially like here in Michigan, you have the growers that grow outside up north, and then you got the growers that grow indoor. Now it's always this competition between the two, where outdoor always say that they stuff is better than indoor. And if you are somebody that actually partakes, you kind of know like outdoor really ain't effing with indoor. Now, just real quick, the outdoor people always say, "Oh, you can't replicate the sun, you can't replicate God, all this blah blah blah." But what I will always do is I will showcase my stuff, and some people will be like, "Oh yeah, that junk fire, blah blah," and then some dudes will come in and start hating like, "Oh, you use PGRs, PGRs, plant growth regulators." They're like, "Oh, you use PGRs and all like that." But I piss people off on purpose because I tell them like, "Put your best product up against mine, then let's see what's up." Nobody took me up on that offer. It got so bad one time because people was talking so much shit, and it was like I stood 10 toes that the administrator kicked me out of the group. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't even start nothing. Y'all gonna kick me out? That's why I started my own group, so I ain't fuck. But but yeah, that was a little quick little, side story. But we about to get cracking, about to get this stuff popping. Like I said, make sure y'all drop them comments for me, because I want to hear what y'all got to say. I want to hear what y'all, what's been going on with y'all. My man's uh my man's Charles, he dropped a link in a last week, if I'm not mistaken, or a few days ago, something like that, with this one dude I'm gonna be reaching out to see if we can get a collaboration going. So appreciate you on that, bro. If you watch on the replay or if you live, I can't see right now. But what we about to get into on the first topic, as soon as I can find it. So, did y'all know that Ivy League schools out here getting $9 billion from the government? Now, when I seen this story, it blew my mind because one, like let's just, let's just talk about like, transparency, right? There's a lot of things that we as, the American people, we don't know what's going on. Now, some people will say, they'll say like, well, it's not really our job to know what's going on and stuff like that. Now, me personally, I would call bullshit on that because it's like at the end of the day, we're not children. We're grown adults. Well, I know I am. I don't know. I know a lot of the people out here, they really don't operate like grown adults. They operate like little crybabies. But I want to know what's going on, honestly. So, I mean, I want to share this, and we gonna review just a little bit of this because I'm gonna try to find the exact story in regards to this. But you got it's a little playback beforehand, okay? So just we gonna rock. Hey, what up, though, bro? My man's in the building. What up, though? Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. Yo, my man Charles been rocking with your boy for a minute now. Hey, dog, I appreciate you for the love, most definitely. So I had to give my man a shout out real quick. But let's get cracking with this. With these crazy people.
Good afternoon, everybody. I apologize for my tardiness, but I came directly from the Oval. I have some newsy updates to share from the president, which I know you all very much value and appreciate. So let's get to it. The president promised millions of Christians across the country on the campaign trail that he would create a White House faith office when he returned to the White House, and he has delivered on that promise. The White House Faith Office has put together an extraordinary week-long celebration currently underway for Holy Week ahead of Easter Sunday. The president signed a Holy Week proclamation, filmed a special presidential video message, and will be hosting a pre-Easter dinner tomorrow night and a White House staff Easter worship service on Thursday.
I don't want to listen to this, but real quick, I want to see something. I don't know. Let me see. Can y'all see this? Let me blow this up for y'all, cause I want y'all to be able to see it. So, can y'all see this little white area right here? Y'all need to see my damn cursor. But it say Trump's robust Holy Week celebration comes after the Biden White House declared Easter 2024 Transgender Day for visibility. Hey, that's crazy. I didn't even know that. But we don't really give a fuck about none of that. We about to fast forward because in this briefing, I watched like a little piece of it. They basically I want to go over this part because this part was kind of crazy because they about to go into like some of the people that they deported, but it's real crazy because like what they actually about to say. Let me get this off the screen real quick because we're not even talking about the Ivy League school stuff yet, so we can bring that back up in a minute. But they was talking about the people that they deported, but when you hear what they got to, like the crimes that they was convicted of, all of them is kind of the same. We gonna talk about it.
Examples from the latest ICE report, which I received this morning. ICE Los Angeles arrested a 54-year-old citizen of Mexico convicted of rape.
Look at the very first word. Very first word. I said that wrong. Word. It's the R word. So it's like, okay, like what the fuck be wrong with these people? And then the last word of a child, right? So I just wanted to point this out real quick.
Rape by threat, sodomy with a person under 14 years, and kidnapping in San Jose, California. ICE Houston has arrested a 23-year-old citizen of Mexico convicted of predatory criminal sexual assault of a child in Cook County, Illinois. ICE Houston arrested a 64-year-old citizen of Honduras convicted of murder in Los Angeles County, California.
Now, real quick, looking at this, there's not a delay in what you're seeing right here. I don't know why they had the pictures mixed up with what they were saying. Like it wasn't aligned, but eventually it's gonna catch up. So, but once again, SA of a child. It's like all these people always going after kids. Like that'd be the one thing that be blowing my mind. Like don't get me wrong. Like of course all the crimes they commit is like just heinous in general. But it's like, why are they going after kids? Like, what is this fascination with grown ass men with kids, bro? That shit really just be blowing me. Like, what?
ICE Chicago arrested a 49-year-old citizen of Guatemala convicted of assault and arson in Prince Williams, Virginia, not far from here. ICE Denver arrested a 36-year-old citizen of Mexico who is registered as a sex offender and has been convicted of sexual assault of a child in Lake County, Colorado. ICE Baltimore arrested a 50-year-old citizen of China convicted of sex trafficking in Bel Air, Maryland. And ICE Boston.
Hey, he smoked cigarettes and he like, man, they didn't caught me in this bitch. Don't he look like that? Like they didn't caught me. Damn.
Arrested a 46-year-old citizen of Jamaica convicted of 3 counts of rape of a child and 2 counts of indecent assault and battery of a child under 14 in Boston, Massachusetts. President Trump and our administration will not rest until every single violent illegal alien is removed from our country. The safety of the American people is too important to settle for anything less. Morin.
Fast forward. That's
And if you
another
didn't
lady.
see yesterday, a Maryland jury found illegal alien Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez guilty of murdering Rachel Morin in August of 2023. She was a 37-year-old mother of 5 who was jogging in an otherwise safe community northeast of Baltimore when this monster ambushed, strangled, and beat her to death before stuffing her brutalized body in a tunnel drain.
Bro, did you hear that? Like the level of violence these dudes be on, like that should be it's bold. You feel what I'm saying? And like one of the reasons on like why I always like to hear both sides on like arguments is because you typically hear different points, right? But as men, we articulate and we think for ourselves. I always sit back and think like, okay, why do people in general, why do they like with the whole thing that's been happening with Trump and the deportation and everything like that? Why are people fighting so hard for like these immigrants when like a lot of the immigrants like they brought certain things over here and it's like it's kind of like it messed up like our norm. Like I remember I heard a thing about what was it, measles if I'm not mistaken, like because the kids that were coming over here and that was getting put into the schools like they didn't have like the measles vaccinations, so they was bringing measles back into the school. You got immigrants that's causing chaos like that. And don't get me wrong, I do know that the media, they put out certain messages because it scares the public in certain ways to where like they run they operate in a certain way because like, oh, the news said this. But it's like when you still hear, you be like, damn, bro, like they doing all of that and like people arguing for that. Like just me personally, I really don't see the benefit of having illegal immigrants over here. Like I just don't. So like I never understood why they really argued that point on like, free them. And I remember I got into it wasn't necessarily an argument, but it was like kind of like a back and forth on Facebook where I had posted something. I can't remember. I don't know if it was in regards to like a president or what. I don't know what it was. But one of the dudes, like he's an associate. He's out in like Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. And he was like, how could you vote for him, or he's putting kids in prison camps, and he said some shit like that, and it blew me because it was like, and I had to tell dog, I'm like, hold on. I was like, to be completely honest with you, me and my people got some so much more important to worry about. Like me as a black man in America, I ain't got time to be worried about that over there. Like it doesn't necessarily directly affect me, but I gotta focus on me and what I gotta do for my own, my own people, subgroup people, whatever. I ain't got time for that. Like, and that be the thing that I really be like standing on. It's like if you not gonna actually go down there and do something, why do all this bitching and complaining when you not gonna be the one that actually does anything? You feel what I'm saying? Like you should do this, you should do. It's like, well, nigga, you go do it then, or stop complaining.
The Morin family finally got justice yesterday, but they will never get Rachel back. Our hearts go out to Rachel's family, her 5 children, and her mother, Patty, who has suffered the unimaginable loss of her daughter. In case you missed it last week, President Trump signed a national security presidential memorandum directing federal agencies administering federal land on the border to make land available to the Defense Department in a new national defense area. This followed the president's day one executive order committing his.
All right, listen, we don't want to hear about that. We want to hear about, because they about to talk about a bunch of different topics in here, which is cool. But I want to get directly to the school. So let me find that real
I think
quick.
Appreciate what you're doing with the new media seat here and making this more accessible.
I think he gonna bring
I'm
it
curious
up.
with Harvard, we saw
Bam. So they about to talk about it right now. Now we all know Ivy League schools, right? Harvard, Yale, Princeton. You know, like these schools that super expensive to get into. Not super. They're super expensive and they're hard to get into. We talking, 4.0. You talking, you got to have somebody that went there, and all this other stuff. Super hard. But let's rock.
the Trump administration today announced it's cutting around $2 billion, or freezing $2 billion in funds to Harvard because the campus has serious problems with violence and with anti-Semitism. We saw former President Obama, side with Harvard, which rejected the Trump administration's demands. I'm curious, where does the administration see this going with Harvard and with other colleges and universities in America that are refusing to reform in wake of the sort of craziness that we've seen take over some of them?
Thank you, Matt, for being here, and thanks for the question. When it comes to Harvard, the president's position on this is grounded in common sense, in the basic principle that Jewish American students, or students of any faith, should not be illegally harassed and targeted on our nation's college campuses. And we unfortunately saw that illegal discrimination take place on the campus of Harvard. There are countless examples to prove it, particularly with the stunning confession by then Harvard President Claudine Gay, who said that bullying and harassment depended on the context. The president at that time made it clear to the American public he was not going to tolerate illegal harassment and anti-Semitism taking place in violations of federal law. So the president made it clear to Harvard, follow federal law, no longer break Title VI, which was passed by Congress to ensure no student can be discriminated against on the basis of race, and you will receive federal funding. Unfortunately, Harvard has not taken the president or the administration's demands seriously. All the president is asking, don't break federal law, and then you can have your federal funding. I think the president is also begging a good question. More than $2 billion out the door to Harvard when they have a more than $50 billion endowment. Why are the American taxpayers subsidizing a university that has billions of dollars in the bank already? And we certainly should not be funding a place where such grave anti-Semitism exists.
And I'm curious, you had just mentioned Rachel Morin, and I'm a Maryland man, and I think most Marylanders.
They got a lot of money, boy. 50 bill.
Appreciate what you were saying today. We've seen that Chris Van Hollen, who was Rachel Morin's senator,
Hold up.
basically threatening to fly to El Salvador to press for the release of someone who was in America illegally. What and not.
All right, now what he's going into now, he's going into I don't know if y'all heard about it, but it was a dude that got so he got deported illegally or something like I guess he was supposed to be an actual US citizen, but he got deported by mistake, and like Trump not trying to get him back. So I actually got a whole nother video that dives further into it, but let's just see what he got to say, because I actually haven't even seen this part yet. So let's dive into that.
As much sort of from him about Rachel Morin's horrific murder and the verdict that was, I think, rightly reached yesterday. What does the administration think about the priorities we're seeing from Senate Democrats in terms of illegal immigrants instead of the work that agencies like ICE and DHS are doing with the Trump administration?
It's my.
All right, no, my bad. He ain't talking about it. But y'all, what do y'all think about that? Far as with the college, and far as they taking funding away from, I think he said, they took $2 billion, they took it away or whatever, and Harvard, like, yeah, whatever. I don't know. I don't necessarily feel no type of way in regards to like some of the stuff. I honestly believe that we as regular people, we don't really care about a lot of that stuff. It's still interesting to see it, to be aware of it, to see exactly what's going on, because to understand that the government is actually giving, 9 billion, 2 billion, however many billions over to an Ivy League school that already has a substantial amount of money. It's kind of like, all right, why is our money going there? That's honestly what I think in a lot of cases, because, I remember growing up when people always say, "Oh, like our tax dollars is going there," and all this BS about tax dollars, right? But it's interesting to see like some places get our money even though they don't necessarily need it. And they have other funds from other places. And then, they make it so expensive to go there, but it's like it's so expensive, but yet y'all getting subsidized from the government. It's just it's kind of like basically if you think about it, Harvard on government assistance too. So they basically like, a BB. If anybody don't know what a BB is, it's a bro bitch. I crack myself up sometimes. I swear. Let's move on. Like I said, I got another one for y'all that we got to dive into because it was really interesting. So,
Do you plan to
like I
ask
said,
President?
the level of transparency from this administration is actually very interesting because in my lifetime, in our lifetime, I don't remember any president being this transparent. It's like Trump is just putting on the show, like, yo, we're gonna let the American people see exactly what's going on behind the scenes. We're not gonna hide anything from them. We're gonna let them know what's cracking. Me personally, I can appreciate that because it's like we live here, we pay, we gotta pay, and we are part of this system and everything like that. And it's like, why not let us know what's going on? Why keep the the blinds closed and it's just treat us like we're children? I don't really rock with that. You feel what I'm saying? It just I don't rock with it. I really don't. Before we hop into this next topic, see what my man said. He said, I think that's crazy as hell that they're giving that school that has $50 billion even more money when they are letting HBCUs go down the drain. No, see, I can't fully agree with that, Charles. I can't because just for my little bit of information, that we're learning. One, Trump has given HBCUs, he funded them more money than any other president in history, right? That's one. But then two, and of course, you can search it real quick too, just to fact check me. You feel what I'm saying? But two, when people graduate from colleges, like the alumni, they're supposed to like donate back to the schools. And I remember hearing something a while ago. It was like that was one of the issues that um was with the HBCUs. Like basically the people who graduate, they're not donating back to the schools to keep the infrastructure up and stuff like that. But a lot of the other schools, when people graduate and they become, get into their careers, they doing real good, they donate back to the school, and that's what really builds them up. So I don't necessarily know if it's like a them issue. I could be wrong, but I honestly believe it. I think it might be a us issue, because I honestly believe we got enough money to do what we want to do. Now, I'm not saying that they shouldn't be donating no money. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that the government shouldn't be allocating a certain amount of funds to go towards these schools or whatever. But one of the things that I typically like to do is I don't even like to just, I'm not emotional about things. Like I said, I stopped that. I like to look at, okay, how do they allocate the funds? Like what are the requirements and stipulations that they put in place to say, okay, this school get this amount of money, this school gets this amount, and then why? Like, is it dealing with like research? Is it dealing with like the type of faculty? Is it dealing with the type of graduation rates or like what? That's typically like, those small details. You feel what I'm saying? Because then it will make more sense. And then it's like we can get away from the being emotional about stuff and then just have a deeper understanding. Like, okay, I get why they doing this. And then okay, if they fulfill these requirements, then they will get more funds allocated for them. But here we got what is the president of El Salvador and Trump, they holding a meeting. And in this meeting, they were talking about my mans who got deported because I heard this on the radio. I want to say maybe like 2 days ago, and they were talking about how a man got deported to El Salvador, and he was wrongly deported and they not trying to bring him back and he a US citizen and all like that. But they actually like deep dive into that. So that's what we about to get into. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
To help return the man who your administration says was mistakenly
Which one is that?
deported. The man who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador.
Well, let me ask Pam, would you answer that question?
Sure, President. First and foremost, he was illegally in our country. He had been illegally in our country. And in 2019, two courts, an immigration court and an appellate immigration court, ruled that he was a member of MS-13 and he was illegally in our country. Right now, it was additional paperwork had needed to be done. That's up to El Salvador if they want to return him. That's not up to us. The Supreme Court ruled, President, that if, as El Salvador wants to return him, this is international matters, foreign affairs, if they wanted to return him, we would facilitate it, meaning provide a plane.
So will you return him, President?
And you are doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
But Stephen Miller, wait a minute. Can you just also respond to that question? Because, it's asked by CNN, and they always ask it with a slant because they're totally slanting because they don't know what's happening. That's why nobody's watching them. But would you answer that question also, please?
Yes, gladly. So, as Pam...
Hey, listen, real quick. One thing Trump gonna always do, he gonna always throw shade. And it is so funny to see that because he don't care. He be like, bro, don't like watch them. They lame as hell. And I just be like, bro, like he has no filter. It's funny.
Mentioned there's an illegal alien from El Salvador. So with respect to you, he's a citizen of El Salvador. So it's very arrogant even for American media to suggest that we would even tell El Salvador how to handle their own citizens as a starting point. As two immigration courts found that he was a member of MS-13. When President Trump declared MS-13 to be a foreign terrorist organization, that meant that he was no longer eligible under federal law, which I'm sure you know, you're very familiar with the INA, that he was no longer eligible for any form of immigration relief in the United States. So he had a deportation order that was valid, which meant that under our law, he's not even allowed to be present in the United States and had to be returned because of the foreign terrorist designation. This issue was then, by a district court judge, completely inverted, and a district court judge tried to tell the administration that they had to kidnap a citizen of El Salvador and fly him back here. That issue was raised to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said the district court order was unlawful, and its main components were reversed 9-0 unanimously, stating clearly that neither Secretary of State nor the President could be compelled by anybody to forcibly retrieve a citizen of El Salvador from El Salvador, who again is a member of MS-13, which, as I'm sure you understand, rapes little girls, murders women, murders children, is engaged in the most barbaric activities in the world, and I can promise you, if he was your neighbor, you would move right away.
So you don't plan to ask for
Supreme Court is asking to...
Is that
What was the ruling
is that your
in
position?
the Supreme Court, Steve? Was it 9-0?
Yes, it was a 9-0
In our favor.
in our favor against the district court ruling, saying that no district court has the power to compel the foreign policy function of the United States. As Pam said, the ruling solely stated that if this individual at El Salvador's sole discretion was sent back to our country, that we could deport him a second time.
Well,
No version of this legally ends up with him ever living here because he is a citizen of El Salvador. That is the president of El Salvador. Your questions about it, per the court, can only be directed to him.
I asked
¿Usted lo
President
liberaría,
Bukele, what is
Presidente
your, can President Bukele weigh in on this? Do you plan to return him?
Well, I'm supposed you're not suggesting that I smuggle a terrorist into the United States, right?
It's only
how
CNN.
can I smuggle? How can I return him to the United States? Like I smuggle him into the United States, or what do I do? Of course, I'm not going to do it. It's like, the question is preposterous. How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
So you can release him inside El Salvador?
Yeah, but I'm not releasing. We're not very fond of releasing terrorists into our country. We just turned the murder capital of the world into the safest country of the Western Hemisphere, and you want us to go back into releasing criminals so we can go back to being the murder capital of the world? No, that's not going to happen.
They'd love to have a criminal, released into our country.
There's a fascination.
They would love it.
Yeah.
They're sick. These are sick people. Mark, do you have something to say about
Yeah, Stephen outlined it. I don't understand what the confusion is. This individual is a citizen of El Salvador. He was illegally in the United States and was returned to his country. That's where you deport people, back to their country of origin. Except for Venezuela, that wasn't refusing to take people back, or places like that. I can tell you this, Mr. President. No, the foreign policy of the United States is conducted by the President of the United States, not by a court. And no court in the United States has a right to conduct the foreign policy of the United States. It's that simple. End of story.
And that's what the Supreme Court held, by the way, to Marco's point. The Supreme Court said exactly what Marco said, that no court has the authority to compel the foreign policy function of the United States. We won a case 9-0, and people like CNN are portraying it as a loss, as usual, because they want foreign terrorists in the country who kidnap women and children. But President Trump, his policy is foreign terrorists that are here illegally get expelled from the country, which, by the way, is a 90-10 issue.
Well, Mr. President, you said that if the Supreme Court said someone needed to be returned, that you would abide by that. You said that on Air Force One just a few days ago. And they said that it must be facilitated.
Why don't you just say, isn't it wonderful that we're keeping criminals out of our country? Why can't you just say that? Why do you go over and over? And that's why nobody watches you anymore. You know, you have no credibility. Please, go ahead.
President Trump, thank you so much. How many illegal criminals are you planning on exporting to El Salvador? And President Bukele, how many are you willing to take from the U.S.?
As many as possible. And I just asked the president, you know, it's this massive complex that he built, jail complex. I said, can you build some more of them, please? As many as we can get out of our country that we're allowed in here by.
Hey, listen, some of these questions I honestly believe be bait questions, because he said, she said, how many do you plan on exporting? And then she asked the other president, how many will you accept? And then Trump, basically, it's one of those things where it's like, you kind of let your nuts hang in a sense, because he kind of like, as many as possible. Basically, like, we're going to get all of them out and send them back to where they came from. It's kind of like, what was the other president supposed to say? Like, oh no, we only going to take probably like 25%. I guarantee Trump would be like, what? You won't take all of them because they came from you. What you talking about? So some of them questions be like bait questions to me. But yeah, like that whole situation is crazy. And now hear me out, guys. One thing that I really be thinking sometimes, and you know, I understand, like, you know, you got conspiracy theorists and everything on, you know, that they talk about, and people like, oh, that's just conspiracy and stuff like that. But I really be sitting back and thinking, like, damn, bro, is it some people really that just like hate our country? Like, I understand the history of the country. Listen, I get all of that, but it's like, we can't necessarily like live in the past, because it's like it really does us no justice. Like, the past happened. Like, it's nothing we can do about it. The only thing that we can do is be here in the present and create plans for ourselves and to execute it for the future. That's the only way we're gonna make things change. But here, it's like, when they talk about like all the illegal immigrants that was like doing things illegally and stuff like that, it's like, why do certain news outlets, why do they paint such a negative picture of like what's going on? And it's like, sometimes they'll take one small piece of information to paint this whole narrative where it's just like, oh my God, he's just a monster and he just effing everything up. And I was just like, damn, bro, like, so what do you want them to do? Like, you don't want these people out if they committing crimes? Like, honestly, this was just one of my thoughts. The people, like, even our own citizens, the ones that create, like, I mean, not create, but do like heinous crimes like murder and stuff like that, and like they got them dead to rights, they got the evidence like legit. I be thinking, like, instead of putting them in prison, why don't you send them to like a island? You know what I'm saying? Like, just get them, like, exile them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you remember like in the medieval days when people get exiled and they can never come back to the civilization? It's like, why don't we do that? Like, do y'all think that that's what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not gonna say heinous, but do y'all think that would be cruel to send, like, you know, the R word apis to their own island, to where they just got to live amongst each other, and it's like, that's where you live out your days at, you can never get back over here type situation? That's just a thought. Let me know what y'all think about that. We got a comment. I don't think that they should bring him back. I'm just mad that they found out that he was a gang member and illegal in 2019. Why in the world did they let him stay here until now? See, that's a good question. That's the same thing that I be asking. Like, why do these people be like? Why are they here? That's one. But then two, why are people advocating for them? Now I understand, the media they play, different roles, but my thing is this, because like my man's who was up there arguing his point, basically saying like, the courts can only do a certain amount of things, that Trump has the power to do whatever. The way he was like articulating and arguing, bro, I do the same thing. I kid you not. I'd be pointing point by point by point by point. Like, how are you going to argue these when these laws or these regulations are in place, and it's like you can't override them? But when I first got word of the story, it was by it was on radio station 107.5 in Detroit, and it was L'Oreal. I'm not gonna hold you up. I cannot stand L'Oreal, bro. I cannot stand that woman on the radio. Like, I don't even listen to that station because of her, because she be talking about some of the dumbest shit. Her points be so stupid. I just like, oh my God. But anyway, she was talking about the story and she painted the narrative basically like, uh, he got deported and America's not trying to get him back and he's our citizen and all like that. But then my man's basically like, nah, he was illegally here. He wasn't supposed to be here. It be messed up situations, but at the end of the day, I can't do nothing about it. So I'm not about to be sitting here, trying to rah for a mofo that I don't even know. Some people like, well, what if that happened to you? I mean, I'd be like, shit. I'm glad I'm black as hell, and it's kind of like I was born and raised in Detroit, and you can't mix me up with nobody. I mean, because I don't know. That's why my thing is I stay out the way and I do my own thing. I'm not getting mixed up in nothing because I ain't got time for none of that. None of that. So y'all already know, man. We got to move along, which is all good. We got to get up out of here with that one. So, all right, guys. So, Pete. So I had got a lot of pushback, right?
Us, especially over
in
the past
regards
week,
to
has been overwhelming.
the Carmelo Anthony case, right? Now, like I said last week, a lot of people try to make it a race war, right? And that was like they was really doing Carmelo Anthony a disservice, because what they were failing to realize, like, while they're trying to argue these points, and mind you, I wasn't coming from the position of as if I didn't care about it, or from the position of, oh, he should just go to jail and just F him and nothing like that. And no, because that's ignorant. Because at the end of the day, I remember being 17. I remember being, going through my teenage years. I remember all of that. And I also understand that growing up a certain way in certain environments, you react certain ways. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it was a point in my life I was extremely emotional. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a lot of emotional trauma going on. And it's like, we deal with it. But this situation that happened, no matter which way you look at it, two teenagers lost their lives that day. One, he's never coming back, which is no way, shape, or form. Nobody had children for them to die. You feel what I'm saying? Like, y'all remember the movie Friday, right? Remember when Craig dad walked into the room, saw him with the strap. And what'd he say? What you got that for, son? He told him, you use these because you live to fight another day. Like, if you lose, it is what it is, but you live to fight another day. You can use that in this situation now. Craig fought Debo. Even though it's a movie, Craig fought Debo. Debo was the neighborhood bully. Craig was about to use the strap on him, but he put it down. He threw hands and they got busy, and that's what happened. Bring it to the situation here. That could have been the same thing. You win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day. Because he reacted in the way that he did, now this kid is potentially going to go to prison. But here's the big thing that I want to elaborate on and had a conversation about, right? and I want to bring up, hold on, I want to bring up my TikTok, because this is where people was you know what I'm saying, push giving me the pushback on, and it was also on the video on YouTube too, and I'm gonna bring that up because I want to talk about it. So just let me bring TikTok up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. This crazy. The first video that popped up with TikTok, it say how not to transport 5.5 million of coke. It's like, what? Boy, TikTok be having some stuff on here, man. It is funny. I'm not even gonna lie. Okay, okay. All right, all right, all right. So should I share, like, do y'all want to see like the people? Cause I mean, I really don't care if y'all see them. It is what it is. Everybody know them already. Let me know if y'all want me to actually share the screen with the comments on it, and I will. But one dude commented, right? He said on my little clip or whatever, he said Carmelo Anthony stood his ground and Austin Metcalf is napping like he should be. Now, mind, just a grown ass man saying this, right? Black dude. He said white supremacy has a double standard and they have done far worse with zero reasoning. Y'all see what I mean? Like, that's the shit that I can't stand behind, because my man sitting here saying that. Now what y'all got to understand is kids see the shit that we do. And mind you, TikTok was created basically for children. So we already know kids is on there like crazy. But people talking like that gives children whose brains are still developing, they still learning about the world, kids going through all this emotional shit. They see stuff like that and they think certain shit is okay. You feel what I'm saying? Unless somebody teaches them the proper way, especially our boys and stuff like that. But right there, what my man said, how are you putting a situation between white teenager, black teenager, which honestly, I always felt the whole color thing was real fucking stupid. I always felt that way. And then like the white people who were super racist and all that. I honestly believe that people who are like racist, like bigots, them the ones that need to go like die off somewhere. Like, just get the fuck out of society, bro. Because you have no place in society. Like, you hate somebody because of the color of their skin. They didn't choose to be that color. And you hate them because God created them that way. Like, find something fucking else to hate about. That's stupid to me. But my man saying all that, it's like, dog, that's not the situation that's at hand. Like, it's not. Like, I get that people are trying to use that to incite certain stuff, but my thing always still is, y'all are not gonna do anything. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I can see if you was standing on business, you was going out there and I understand. I'm not advocating for violence whatsoever. I am not that type of person. I don't advocate for violence against nobody unless it's called for. If it's called for, hey, get busy. But other than that, no. They put these type of situations on other people that's in the situation and say, oh yeah, that's what they get and all like that. Bro, a family is mourning and the other family is fighting for their son's life. They gotta all the money that they raise and all like that, the mother, she can't enjoy her son being at home. You know, they say he was a 4.0 student, all like that. College is not gonna want him to come to their school now. Like, what does his future look like? What does his future look like? He potentially has a record now. Even if he gets convicted, his whole future life is now damn near done. His dad is going to be extremely stressed out. And bro, I'm a dad. I couldn't imagine my son going through no shit like that. That shit will hurt my heart to the core. to the core. If my son was in a situation like that, if my daughter was in a situation like that, I wouldn't be able to sleep because, like, bro, my child is going through this situation and I cannot be there to hold my child. I can't navigate my child through a situation. I got to let my child go through that by themselves. If your child is in a jail cell, my dog, you cannot be there to make sure your child's straight. You got to just try to go to sleep knowing your child is in there with grown ass people that could potentially do significant amount of harm to them, and you cannot protect over them. That's where I was coming from. So when people saying stupid shit like that, that's what I'm talking about. Them niggas is not in that situation. And that's where it irks my nerve, because it's like, it's our job to raise our kids a certain way. Now, granted, kids gonna get into certain little stuff or whatever, but it's like a structure that you follow. And that's where I was coming from with it. If you teach your son how to get busy with hands, you don't never have to worry about him potentially killing somebody. You feel what I'm saying? Like, in general, like, we all got those one-off situations, but it's like, who wants their kid to go through that? That's where I'm coming from with it. You feel what I'm saying? Let me find this next comment. All right, so this other person, he said, I think this a dude. How about don't bully? He would be here if he didn't bully. Maybe you can't get rid of the bully. And he was responding to the Charleston White video. Once again, I honestly believe these are soft ass men. I'm not gonna hold you up, because who says that? Don't bully. My nigga, kid you not. I'm not for the bullying shit whatsoever. But as a man and a boy growing into a man that has the certain support and structure and all like that you should have, bullies make you stronger. Now, once again, I'm not saying that I support bullies at all, but bullies make you stronger. How? That's a person that you now have to overcome, right or wrong. You have to overcome a bully. If you got a bully that's fucking with you every day, and then we all see, like, those certain little stories where eventually the person getting bullied stands up and beat the shit out of the bully. At that point, that person just overcame the bully. And now that bully can never fuck with them again. And that makes that person so much more confident. Now, of course, we can go off into and I know this a little long-winded, but I just gotta get that. I gotta get it out before we play the video. I don't want to go into the other side where people be like, oh, they offing themselves and nothing like that. And it's very unfortunate with that. But that's just like in life, you gonna face so many different challenges in life. And every time you overcome a certain challenge, that makes you so much stronger, more confident, and better. To where if you ever face that situation again, you already know how to handle it. You feel what I'm saying? So when people sitting here saying certain stuff like that, it's like, bro, no matter what y'all can say, a kid lost his life. And another kid is fighting for his own freedom. In no way, shape, or form, as an adult, I'm not standing behind none of that. Well, if you didn't do this, well, you didn't do that, man. Fuck all that, bro. I'm not saying my man's was right if coming over there fucking with him. I'm not saying he was right whatsoever. But the reaction still it plays a major part. That's just where I'm coming from. Let me find let me see if it's any more comments. Because there's a lot of comments that had came in. Blah, blah, blah. All right, I can't see no more, so I ain't even about to put that on y'all. See my man Charles saying, this situation polarized black people who hate white people and white people who hate black people, instead of being what it was about, and that it was just two stupid kids. I mean, yeah, but I mean, we ain't necessarily gotta call them stupid. Let's just say they has just regular ass beef. Bro, throw hands and get it over with. How many times have we heard of people having a problem, fought, and then shook hands and they were straight after that? I've heard situations where dudes fought and became friends afterwards. Me personally, I couldn't do it, but I get it. You feel what I'm saying? The people who are talking about eliminating bullies are not going to prepare their kids for life's obstacles. Exactly. They're not. Their children are going to be the most pussiest people out here because they don't know how to overcome obstacles, bro. I can't stand soft ass dudes at all because there's no way in the world I'm going to tell my son or even let my son go anywhere near that route. You going to stab or shoot a motherfucker because they hemmed you up or because they was a little bit bigger than you? Man, you gotta punch them in the throat. What you mean? Like, come on, man. Let's pull this video up so y'all can see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the video 32 minutes long, and we are not about to go into all of that. The attorney, he talks literally like damn near 17 minutes to the video. So we gonna go directly to the mother. That's what we gonna go to. So
stop asking us the question. Stop. It's no. We can't even do it if we wanted to. Okay? We can't talk about it. So don't ask. There is a court of law. Tucker.
And I'm gonna make sure I put the videos. I'm gonna make sure I put them in the credit section. So if y'all want to actually go and view the video, you can definitely go do it just to get like the full view on what's going on.
I've never on her just shows Black America that no matter what you pick in the ballot box, and that is your constitutional right.
Damn, bro, where did she
it's
come in? It's
people out here reminding. I don't care what you say about me. I've been in this thing for 11 years. I am tried, tested.
Mother of Carmelo.
Y'all.
Okay, here. All right, she about to come up. Now, mind you, this the mama and the daddy. Mind you.
Good afternoon. My name is Kayla Hayes. I am the mother of Carmelo Anthony. 3 years ago, my family moved to North Texas searching for a better life. Like so many other families, we wanted to give our children the future we did not have. My husband worked hard every single day to provide for us, to make sure we're in the best financial position possible. As a stay-at-home mom, I made it my life's mission to ensure our children are loved, nurtured, and supported every step of the way. In wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Carmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about. The lies and false accusations that have been said about us, especially over the past week, has been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification put my family in danger, as well as everyone in our community, everyone involved in the investigation, from the police, the attorneys, and the court staff. Our address and my husband's previous employer's address has been put on all social media platforms. My husband had to take a leave of absence because he's afraid what may happen to our family. His mental health is the...
Just real quick. So for all the people who is pushing back, talking all that shit, this family is going through all of this because of what happened. So y'all can, they want to do all this race baiting and the bully got what he got and all like that. Y'all can say all that ignorant shit because y'all not going through the shit that they going through. That's what I'm saying. If he simply caught that motherfucking fade, they would not be going through this whatsoever, bro.
Deteriorating day by day. We have endured death threats. My 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful of what may happen to her. And let me be clear, The claims that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false. We have not received a single dime from the Give, Send, Go fundraiser. And the co-founder has stated that clearly. In the reality, we were just notified yesterday that we could begin to withdraw funds. And it still takes several days to receive those funds once a request is made. I don't know why we are being targeted and discriminated against before a fair trial. Our son deserves the same rights under the law that everyone is afforded to. He's been raised in a two-parent home with structure, stability, love, and we put God first in everything that we do. We believe in the Constitution, we believe in the laws of this state, but those laws must apply to all of us, not just some of us. To be clear, we will not speak publicly about specific details of what happened under the tent on that rainy and awful day. There's an active investigation that everyone involved wants to be full and fair. We believe in the legal process, and that is where the truth will come out. To the family who experienced the loss, my heart truly goes out to you. To those who have supported my family, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We ask for your continued support, patience, and prayers as we navigate this difficult process. Thank you.
Y'all, I'm going to show something up of a post. You come for me, I come for you. Sarah Fields. Never heard of this woman. This is the kind of despicable things that led to the father being here. Political operatives motivating this family with hate.
So yeah. So this is where I'm coming from in situations like this, because while people are sitting here trying to make it a race thing, this family is literally under attack. And here's my one thing. Here's the one thing. All of the motherfuckers that's talking that shit, talking about some Austin got what he got and he shouldn't be bullying. Those same motherfucking people would not go to this family and help support this family. You think anybody would help making sure that they, you know what I'm saying, they'll be straight, you know what I'm saying, protecting the house, making sure, you know, it's firearms around. They wouldn't do none of that. They not about to lose no sleep, you know what I'm saying, for this family. So they sitting here talking all of this bullshit, but they not going to help them cope with anything. They're not going to endure the process with them. That's where I was coming from. This is what I'm saying as far as like the black community and shit. We can raise funds for the situation. And my thing is this. Okay, cool. Y'all raise the money, you know what I'm saying, for his legal fees and all like that. Cool, got it. But why aren't we raising funds as a collective for our own infrastructure, so we can have certain programs in place, so we can have the proper mentorships and you know, all the things to where it decreases situations like this from happening. Now, I'm not saying things will ever be perfect. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But what I'm saying is, when we sit here and try to do this whole race bait shit and try to make everything about race, one thing we really got to sit here and understand is, if we only 13% of the population, and there's a significant portion of our population that's, you know, lower class, middle class, And there's a significant portion of our kids that's growing up without both parents, that's growing up in poverty and all like that. What makes you think creating some type of issue with another group of people where we know that there's always like this, I guess it's like racial tension or whatever. Why do you think we gonna win that? Because technically, aren't we outnumbered? And it's like, not only that, why would you even want that? That'd be my biggest thing. Why would you want that? Because it's not like, okay, yeah, you got some people that'll be ready for that type of shit, but it's like, what are we actually going to get out of that? Everybody always harping on the past, but we don't get the full story about the past. We don't get the full story that it was actually white people that was actually on our side fighting for us like a motherfucker, and not everybody was a part of the whole, having slaves. Not everybody wasn't even a part of that, bro. But we got fed this certain narrative that that's what it was. And then certain, portion of people run up. Moral of the story is, bro, I don't give a fuck what nobody talking about. It was fucked up that he stabbed my man's. Granted, old boy walked up on him or whatever, but that wasn't a situation to where you had to increase the level of force. That was simply you throw hands as teenage boys, y'all fight. Boys gonna fight. Sometimes girls fight. And you walk away. Both kids go home with a couple bruises or whatever. Yeah, pops, yeah, moms. I was in a fight with this kid at the track meet. You know what I'm saying? It's all good though. And that's that. It's squashed. Or parents gotta have a conversation, but at least they go to fuck home. You don't have to bury nobody. You don't have to fight in court for however many years. You don't have to do none of that shit. Dad can still go to work, provide for his fucking family, their younger kids. 13-year-old fucking daughter scared to sleep in her own fucking room. All of this is popping off now. But y'all talking about some, oh yeah, that's what they get. No, ignorant type of shit, bro. I can't stand ignorant ass people. But this is what I be talking about. Bro, the mother is so hard to watch because you can tell that the family has been going through hell. Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't imagine what they was going through, bro. I could not imagine that shit. I couldn't imagine my kids being in that situation. None of that. He can't work. He can't provide for his family. Like, let's see. What charge do you think he's going to end up with? Because I don't think he's going to walk free. I don't know, bro. I really don't. I don't know if it's. I don't know. It's damn sure not a attempt. And then on top of that, you got to think about it like this too. So from some of the stories that I heard, right? They and one thing that I read, they supposedly had a previous altercation before. If hypothetically that was supposed to be true, I guarantee they're gonna try to hit him with premeditated murder. I guarantee they're gonna try to say premeditated because it's like if y'all had an issue before, you knew that they was gonna be there and you was under their tent, right? Now they say, well, the Metcalfs wasn't running track, they weren't supposed to be there or something like that. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not 100% sure. But it was the fact that you still brought a knife to the track meet, and then we know once he walked up, it was like my man. And supposedly he said, you're not supposed to be over here. Like basically, like go ahead on. It's like touch me and see what see what happened. And then not only that, they got a bunch of witnesses. So all of those things are here at play, but it's either gonna be manslaughter or it's gonna be murder, bro. Is one of the two. I don't know. So either way, if that boy, I don't think he gonna walk free either. I really don't, because I don't see it as a self-defense, because it's like your life wasn't in danger. So, but I don't like Texas got, so every state get their own certain laws or whatever. So I don't know, man. I really don't. But I just know at the end of the day, man, this shit's sad as hell that family is going through that, and they got to go through this situation. And people wanting to make that whole situation into this whole race stuff, man. That shit is sickening, dude. I really, sometimes I honestly do wish that in certain situations that we can kind of like reverse time and stop certain shit from happening, because that is definitely one that I think that should be a reversal of time to where that kid stop and fucking just run or something, to where my man's live and he ain't got to deal with that shit, because it's really sad. For real. So we gonna stop sharing that one, man. We definitely, let's get over to the next part of the show, man, because that one is really freaking sad. So y'all already know, make sure y'all like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Next one we got is China. Check this out.
Directly to Americans on TikTok. Thanks to President Trump's trade war on China, Chinese manufacturers are now trying to sell high-end luxury goods like handbags directly to Americans on TikTok. Fox 11's Gina Silva is live in Beverly Hills with that part of the story. Gina. Laura, I don't know
Hey, real quick, that lady was ugly as hell, wasn't she?
if you've seen the videos, but they are wild. And I got to tell you, many American consumers are loving it because why not? Who doesn't love a good deal, right?
Some say as long as there's a tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China.
I want to know who's the Chinese factory behind Nike, Adidas, Fila, and UGG?
All over TikTok, Chinese influencers are taking viewers behind the scenes, exposing what they claim is a real origin of high-end luxury goods. The viral videos are shaking up traditional luxury branding and destroying consumer trust, revealing that many designer products are actually manufactured in Chinese factories, with only the labels stitched on somewhere else. All of these videos suddenly started showing up all over social media after President Trump announced high tariffs on China. While many American consumers are seeing this as a huge score on designer goods, Professor Christopher Tang of UCLA's Anderson School of Management says the videos may not be as honest as they seem.
It could be counterfeit or imitated products as well. So in that case, there's no consumer protection. These are not the authorized luxury brand channel. So in that case, the buyers, you have to beware of the risk.
This is my fake Louis bag. I take it everywhere I go. I love it.
Damn, she had to be black. Had to be black. Damn, bro. Man, listen. I didn't even know that was about to happen, right? But it just brought me back to remember during the boycott situation, and I said that it's always our women that they put on Front Street, and it just makes us look bad. I said that, bro, and they do this shit time and time again, dog. That is crazy.
Years ago, I had the opportunity to actually go to Beijing, and that is when I found out exactly what the game was. I went to factories where they had nothing but floors of Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Chanel, Nike, Adidas, Apple products. And that's where I learned directly from the vendors that, hey, this is the same thing. You're just paying for a label and repackaging in the U.S.
Now, if you order directly from a Chinese factory, you don't have to pay a tariff, and that only applies to commercial imports. So that is a huge draw, Laura. Did you by any chance get to see any of this merchandise? No, these are just videos, right? The only merchandise I saw was the purse from Jasmine, which looks really beautiful. And she said she spent a couple of $100s, and that, of course, retails for thousands of dollars. Right. So it's a marketing campaign. They're hoping to lure you in, and it certainly does draw you in. But usually, these designers will tell you that you have to look at it very closely to see the stitching, how the zipper works. All of that usually indicates the quality of the garment. So,
man, listen. So Sometimes I really forget that as a business person, the things that I know, I think that a lot of other people know these things as well, right? So it's like sometimes you kind of when you get in your own thing, you kind of forget some things, right? But I say that to say that's not shocking to me. That's not surprising. And the reason I say it is because I remember when I was running my e-commerce business and it was dealing with skincare products. And when I was going through finding vendors from China, um, seeing like what all the requirements were, they had their own research and development team and stuff like that. When it comes to the products that like let's say like a Chanel or Gucci or something like that, it wasn't shocking when I seen that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of one of those things where it's like you got to understand like American business, what the environment that we have cultivated over time. We're going to try to find the cheapest products possible or get the products created as cheap as possible so we can have a significant markup. Okay? That's just business, bro. So seeing that, oh, a Gucci bag, you probably can get it for like $200 over in China, but when they come over here, it is retailing for like 15, 1600. It's because you paying for the brand, literally. And that's one thing that I learned when it came to like the e-commerce and just business in general. A lot of times, bro, you're literally only paying for the brand. Now, does that mean that the quality is the same? That's not always the case. And the reason I say it is because like over in China, they don't have like copyright laws and stuff like that, if I'm not mistaken. So that's why like you can actually go and see some Jordans and you will see like in a hologram, it got some weird looking thing or like the Jumpman logo is completely different or something like that. Now, one thing you gotta also understand is that the actual companies themselves, so let's say like they show like Nike or something like that. It's like the company themselves, they have their own like engineers or designers or whatever. They design the logos, the colors, the specs, the stitching, and all that, and then they send it off to the manufacturer. And the manufacturer, they design and do everything according to a certain spec, and then they'll send a sample back to said company, and then they'll say basically, is this good? Or somebody from the company will fly over to China, go into the actual facility and see exactly how it's being operated and see what they do and stuff like that. So that's why I was like, as they say, like the small details, the zipper, the stitching, stuff like that. Exactly. Because it's like you still gonna get good quality stuff, but you really thought that okay, just because they selling it for 1500, how much did you think they was getting it created for? You thought it took them $1,000 to design that bag? Because you still got to think about the people that they're paying here. Those people are getting compensated way more than what the Chinese people are getting. Like if you actually look at the videos dealing with the Chinese manufacturers and how pissed off they was, they've been telling you our profit margins are extremely thin. Because if they go up on their pricing, the people in America, I mean the people here, they're like, man, fuck y'all. I'm not about to do business with y'all. I can't make my money no more. So I don't want to do business with y'all. So that's why they're basically telling everybody they trying to expose them. And real quick, it's real funny on how they trying to expose them. Don't that sound like a female? When a female get mad, now they want to expose the dude. Oh yeah, he was in my DMs last summer trying to get some, and that sounds just like a female, don't it? So China acting like some bitches right now. But listen, that's I mean, they just mad, bro. I mean, you messing with their money. China, like all those vendors over there, like those vendors, they gon' a lot of stuff gonna happen if the whole tariff stuff like really kick in and like and continue to affect them the way it's affecting them. It's gonna be hell to pay because we spend a lot of money with them. a lot of our businesses, they buy all their products from over there, all like that. I'm not gonna necessarily. I'm not with it. Um, you know, I'm not with it as far as like I understand the whole business. I understand the play. You feel what I'm saying? If it made sense to where it was cheaper to make products here, I think people would do it. But let's just be honest. You getting your products over in China where they basically have effing slave labor. You feel what I'm saying? You gonna go over there and you gonna spend money with them. Everybody here, the ones that are actually putting forth the effort to try to get themselves out of situations, bro, they like, man, listen, I'm trying to get the cheapest quality product, that good quality product, and I'm trying to make the most money off of it so I can get rich and then, live my dream on how I want to do it. That's just what it is. And Chinese people is pissed about it. They not with that shit. That's just what it is. My man said, bro, I can't even lie. When I first found out I had my old girl trying to find me those $1 to $2 Nikes, I was gonna get about 10 pair. Hey, listen, you can find them for sure. I remember when I was younger, I was like I want to say like maybe like between 15 and 17, something like that. And it was a dude that he was like the shoe plug. So he had popped the trunk, he had all the shoes or whatever, right? So I bought some shoes or whatever, some Jordans. Bro, couldn't find out these Jordans was fake as hell. The on the side, they was like black and white, and the black started to peel off of them. And like I was embarrassed in school because it's like, damn, like my shoes peeling because the authentic Jordans don't do this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, like you just gotta find the right places, you know what I'm saying? And then once you kind of get plugged in, shit, that's really it. You plug. Like you ain't gotta worry about nothing. You can get all the fake stuff, and rock it out. I know I definitely can tell a difference because I ain't gonna hold you up. I bought some shoes from Temu. It was like $10 or something like that. And I got the shoes and I was like, bro, I ain't never buying no goddamn shoes from Temu again, bro. That shit was so horrible in quality, it ain't make no sense. I just wanted some shoes I could just slip on and like dip out, you know what I'm saying, and go to the store or something like that real quick. I want to play one more video. One more video. And hopefully, like, cause I know, you know, situations with my mans who I'm about to show, it's like he always getting canceled and he got so much legal trouble and stuff like that. But I be seeing people, and I've actually talked to people in real life, and they can't stand him. And it's really because, like, media, right? But I'm like, bro, I don't see how you can really hate my mans, cause it's just like people get mad about dudes being arrogant, but I'm like, nah, it's funny to me. But I'm talking about my man's Andrew Tate, man. Like, just watch the video real quick.
Look who it is. Oh, there he is. What's up?
Hello, everyone.
Come in, you know what I'm saying? What up, though, bros?
You didn't put on a suit.
I fooled everyone.
Oh my god.
Niggas with the braids, hopping on the jet, suits. I ain't gonna hold you up. This how I envision my life. Kid you not. I really envision my life. You know what I'm saying? When I find my group of dudes, you know what I'm saying? We all band up. We got crazy money. You know what I'm saying? We about to go hop on a flight, go fly somewhere, do some fly ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we just living a life, dog. And it's like, that's what these motherfuckers is doing. You know what I'm saying? And then he got his brother with him. I got how many brothers? I had 3 brothers. I wish my brothers was on like they was on that type of time or whatever, but they be on some other shit. Besides my baby brother. No, I got 4 brothers. Damn. Yeah, I got 4 brothers. One of them is like a legit baby. So I kind of forgot about him. But the one right before him, my little brother 20. Man, I swear to God, I cannot wait for us to be out doing some fly shit like this, dog. Like for real. And it's like some people hate when other dudes be out here like on they shit and like, kind of like showing it off. Man, I love that shit. I love when I see other dudes out here doing their motherfucking thing and they flexing a little bit. I was like, hey, dog, that's what's up, dog. Like I can't hate it all. I just love that shit.
Hello, friend. Hello. Welcome to our flying sky castle. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, let me show you around. So, I guess you call this a living room?
Wow.
Is that what you call it? Living room? Please excuse my brother. He spilled a drink. Of course, you know, Tristan can't be trusted. I told him he couldn't drink it, but...
Look at he like,
we have the poker
brother always
table,
talking shit.
which we're going to be playing on, so we can all lose money in the sky, which will be nice. TV to tell us where we are. Bathroom. Bigger than most people's bathrooms in their measly ground homes. This is obviously a sky home. Over here you'll see my office, where I sit and ponder which court dates I have to turn up at, who I'm going to human traffic tomorrow, how I continue to run my huge mastermind criminal enterprise. Come have a look. Come step inside my office. It's fine. There's a few bags. Ignore the bags, but this is the office, you know? You definitely don't get blowjobs in the office. And the reason you don't do that is because there's a bedroom right next door. So why get a blowjob in the office when you can get a blowjob here? You know, but this is for not human trafficking your many girlfriends. And then, of course, you have an ensuite. So, yeah, shower? Would you like a shower? No shower, no problem. A shower for you right here. Would you like a shower? So, yeah, being a criminal, turns out, pays pretty fucking good. And all my haters are stuck on the ground like brokies.
Like brokies.
And I'm in my sky palace on my way to Dubai, so I guess in the end I just fucking win, don't I? Like I always seem.
Hey, dog, listen. My man's Andrew Tate be talking hella, and it's so funny because you can ask my babe. I talk shit all the time. I be talking mad shit about people too. I be like, man, oh broke ass motherfuckers. So it was just funny. I just wanted to share that with y'all, man. I thought that was a cool little video. I watched it for a hot second and I turned that shit off. But yeah, man, I like Andrew Tate, dog. I love all the dudes that talk their shit that's about their business and just 100, man. Like I don't know how people hate on people like that. Let's get this off the screen. What my man say, bro? You wearing some flea market Jason? Hey, listen, I know I felt the same way. I ain't gonna lie to you. I felt the exact same way, but it is what it is. That was a long time ago. I don't do that shit no more. I ain't buying no J's out the back of nobody's trunk. It's not happening. There's only certain Jordans that I actually like to wear at that too. So, and I'm damn sure not standing no line for no Jordan. So, StockX, GOAT, or it's actually a spot in Ohio. A dude put me hip to it. I think it's in Columbus. Whole wall full of retros, no line. I'm gonna hit my man's back up because whenever I go to Columbus, I'm gonna go to the store. Not go back. Have I ever been to Columbus? No. So when I go to Columbus, then yeah. But yeah, man. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to my man Charles, man. I appreciate you, dog, for the interaction. And you know, hey, you help me keep this shit fun. I appreciate you, bro. But this the end of the show, y'all. I'm about to let y'all go ahead and finish enjoying y'all night. I appreciate y'all for being in the building with your boy. Well, with your man. Remember, every Friday, 10 p.m. we in the building. Yo, if y'all got some stuff that y'all want me to add to the show, review or anything like that, man, just send it over to me and I'll figure out how to intertwine it. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, this is our show, baby. So y'all already know it's your favorite businessman CEO, Rico. I'll catch y'all next week, Friday, 10 p.m. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to comment. Peace.